Hello champions and future champions. Hello Chessmood family. GM Gabuzyan is here with you and we're beginning our daily lesson. Today we're going to continue a topic of the previous daily lesson when we were exchanging opponent's queen, which was a great defender and it was protecting some weaknesses. In this position as white we have the same situation. Black pawn is on d6 is a big weakness. Our rook is attacking this. But opponent's queen on e7 is very successfully taking care of this weakness. And my question to you here is the following. How to exchange this queen as the white side? You can pause the video and think about this. In this daily, we're going to see modification of the previous one. Now white plays queen h4 and this time we are ready to exchange the queens even though we're making our pawn structure very ugly. Here, if black is deciding to take, we take back. We are getting very bad pawns on the h file, double ones, weakening the pawn structure. But most important thing is that now we're on time to win this pawn on d6. Black is simply not having enough resources to protect this. And turns out that once we're taking the pawn on d6, we're staying with a clear extra pawn. For example, after knight c6, rook d6, now we're having 3 pawns versus 2 on the queen side with a very solid advantage. For this reason, after queen h4, black didn't take in the game, and after queen d7, white is still having a great decision. Once again, you can pause the video and think about it. Here white went for queen d8 check, still exchanging the defender. Queen takes, bishop d8, knight d7, and eventually after bishop c7, white is staying with an extra pawn, which later on was enough to win this game. I hope you liked this unusual topic and let's go ahead to see the next position. In this middle game, very much similar to Muroty pawn structure position, white suddenly decided to play e3. Something is now different and black has a strong continuation. Without revealing you much, I offer you to pause the video and try to play here as black. Black here is noticing that after e3 move, the pawn on b3 is becoming weakened. But if we now try to play knight c5, white goes b4 and attacking our pieces. If we play something like queen to b6, white can protect his pawn with queen c2. Again, not working. We can figure out that queen is potentially the defender of b3 pawn. And for this reason here, black takes another decision and plays queen h5 move, offering this ugly pawn structure. Instead, no defender for the b3 pawn. In the game, white was supposed to ignore this, trying to play something like f3 and continue this game. But let's see what happened when white accepted queen h5 move, and after gh5, black has these ugly pawns. Seems to be not difficult to protect the pawn on b3. But on the other hand, after bishop a1 and knight c5 moves, the pawn on e4 is also hanging. As it happened in the game, after rook b1, bishop c3, bishop takes c3 and knight e4, black is staying with an healthy extra pawn. All of this has happened because of queen h5 move. We exchanged the queen, which was potentially protecting the pawn on b3, and right now keeping an eye on e4 pawn. After queen was exchanged, these pawns started to hang, and eventually black won one of them. This was my favorite example, even though right now there is nothing hanging. With the potential of attacking the pawns, black is going for this ugly pawn structure. Now, let's go ahead and see the next position in this topic. This time, it's white to move. We have a better activity, good control over the open line, But as well, let's notice that we have some pawn holes as well. We are not having much advancement options. Black's position seems to be really solid. We cannot push something like a5 and make pressure on this knight. As well, something like rook d6 doesn't make sense. Black is continuing to develop the pieces. For this reason, we need to take some concrete actions, and I offer you to pause the video and think how to play here as white. If you can notice, Queen of Black is a great defender. Once we're playing rook d6, it's protecting the knight, it's preventing us from pushing a5 and again make a pressure here. For this reason, white goes queen e3, and making the pawn structure ugly is not that scary. After queen e3 and pawn takes e3, white now is getting a lot of options. In the game, after bishop g4, world champion Mikhail Botvinnik, very strong positional style player, is going here a5. Black now goes knight to c8, and we managed to fix these pawns here. Another good news is now black rooks are not connected to each other, and white is getting extra time to fight for the open lines. Here white went rook to c1. In future, planning to go knight to a4, sometimes knight to d5, in conditions when this pawn is not hanging. At the same moment, we are taking our rook out of a fire, and already we can be taking knight e5, as previously it was not possible since the rook on d1 was hanging. For all of these reasons, white is getting a very solid and strong advantage. Once again, this is beginning with queen e3 move, and after takes, ugly pawn structures are not scary for us, we are getting much more instead. I am not encouraging you all the time get an ugly pawn structure, but if you can feel opponent's queen is really great defender, sometimes you can consider this as a reasonable option, as it's happening in our examples. Now, let's go ahead to the next position, which will be your homework. Here it's black to move, and we have some French type of pawn structure. You can share your thoughts and ideas how to play Here is Black in the comment section below. Gabuzyan was here with you. Thank you for your subscriptions, likes, and sharing this video with your friends. We appreciate it a lot. See you next time during our next daily lessons.